I'm sure Phil must have explained to you the mechanism of our evolution. As you will see before yourself, that there are different centers at the different level of the body, and all these centers denote our different stages of our evolution. These centers cannot be seen. They are subtle centers placed in the medulla oblongata, means in the spinal cord, and also in the brain. As I told you yesterday, that God has created us for the purpose, and the whole thing has been done very beautifully, with great compassion, care. It's done very delicately, and all these centers denote within us a kind of a growth that has been manifesting one after another. But at the human stage, we are still in the transition stage, because we do not know the meaning of our life. The meaning of our life will only be known when we become connected with that power which has created us, the power that has evolved us, the power that desired for our creation, that activated for our creation, and the one that evolved us. These three powers are indicated in those three lines. The left side is the power of desire, which looks after the past, the subconscious and the collective subconscious, and the another one which activates is on the right hand side, which looks after the action, the activation, the creation, up to the stage when life started taking its form. Then comes in the carbon atom. Carbon atom is a very important pivotal element that was created at a point where it had 4 valencies which it could depart or could receive. This came as a special catalyst, we can say, which started creating life. Now, the life was created, but after creating that life, as a unicellular animal, we had to become human beings. The chairs do not grow, this hall will not grow, nothing is going to grow which is dead. But whatever is living grows and evolves. We have become human beings at a stage where that center is near the neck, where we have raised our neck up, where the animals put their head up. A new system started building up within themselves, by which a crossing took place, and this crossing of the energies created these 2 pouches called ego and super ego. Because there was no outlet. The animals have both the feet and both the hands on the ground. It comes from the hind legs and goes through the 4 legs. But in the human beings, when he raised his head, then a new system developed within him, by which he created ego. When he worked, when he took action, through his mental and his physical capacities, he developed a system called ego. Actually, ego is a complete myth, because we really do not do anything. As I said, we only do dead work. We cannot do one living work. We cannot do any living work. And so the ego that is within us is just a myth that we are doing it. So this myth rises, and the superego at the animal stage is pressed back, and when both of them combine on top of your head, till about the age of 12 years, the calcification takes place and you become yourself. You become completely independent. The I-ness develops. That means you become like an egg. Now you are a separate entity, a free entity, which can work out the left and the right side, which is like a brake and the accelerator of a car, and learn how to use them to develop balance within you by making mistakes. By experimenting, you develop your wisdom in the center. Sometimes the human beings go to the extremes, as I told you yesterday, how they go onto the right side into the extremes and what diseases they develop and what problems they develop. In the same way I told you a day earlier that when you go to the left, how you develop your problems of emotional side, and even a disease like cancer comes to you from the left extremes. Now in the center is the evolutionary process, is the power of evolution, is the power of your sustenance. For example, carbon has 4 valencies. That means the carbon has got the sustenance of 4. Human beings have 10 sustenances, which are expressed in the Bible as 10 commandments. These are for the sustenance of the human being. When Moses was on this earth, that time it was too early to talk of self-realization about spirit. As the tree was growing, the tree of life, he talked about the tree of life, tree of fire, about Kundalini, he did talk. But he more talked about the sustenance, about the maintenance of the balance of the being. He was more particular on that point because that was the time where people had to learn to be in a balance. He did talk of baptism. For example, Jews don't believe in baptism. But he did say that somebody is going to come, Sahaja, and he is going to give you the spirit. He is going to give you the realization. But Jews, as you know, denied Christ. They didn't believe in him. And that's how Christ was crucified. Now Christ is a very, very important advent on this earth. Apart from other advents, first of all, I'll tell you about Christ, how important he is and how he plays a very important role in the human beings. People just talk of Christ, Christ, Christ. We should go to the church, say Christ, Jesus Christ is the one. I see so many posters saying Jesus Christ is within you, Jesus Christ is coming, Jesus Christ is here. But where? Where is he? Where does he reside within us? He resides in the center, which is the 6th center called as Agya. This center is placed between the pituitary and the pineal body. It's a very subtle center and has got 2 subplexuses. He incarnates there as the embodiment of innocence. That's why he's such a powerful deity who incarnates and settled down in that area. His coming on this earth was very important because the ego and superego had crossed each other and there was no space for the Kundalini to pass through. That is the cross where he was crucified. And when he came on this earth, 4,000 years before that, Sri Krishna described that the power which is divine cannot be destroyed. The spirit cannot be destroyed. It cannot be burnt. It cannot be blown off. And that's why Christ had to come on this earth to establish that truth. He was the one who was Om, the one who was the primordial sound. And that's why he could walk on top of the water. Only the sound can travel on top of the water because it has no gravity to fall down. It was a special creation of Jesus Christ in the heavens. It's described in many books, Indian books, scriptures, he is described as Mahavishnu. Of course, the people who call themselves Christians got their Christianity from various sources and they interpreted it the way they wanted. For example, St. Paul in the Bible is not a realized soul, nor he has got anything to do with Christ. Nothing. He never met Christ. He had nothing to do. He just came forward. He was killing Christians. He was a half Jew and a half Greek, and he had bribed people to get a Roman visa or something like that. And he was there as a Roman soldier. And he was killing people. He was killing Christians. And suddenly he says that he saw a light and he is self-appointed man, and I don't know why he is in the Bible. He should not have been there. He is a very misguiding personality, and that misguidance is today acting against Christ. Actually, I have a feeling that always when such a great man comes in on this earth and his work starts, some negative forces become very subtle and come forward to help the cause, and actually they are against God. This I will prove it to you later on why I am saying so. But Jesus Christ himself, he came on this earth because we had a problem.